Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Women Crushing It Wednesdays. I have my beautiful ladies on the panel, and we have an amazing guest, Bruce Carrington, aka Shoo Shoo. How are you, Shoo? How
I'm
are
great. I'm
you?
great. I'm on cloud 10 right now, you know.
Yeah, we gonna talk
Uh
about your Cloud 10. We gonna talk about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
You
for
know,
sure.
after that fight last week,
Absolutely.
I'm getting a lot of attention, which I've been working really hard for and I'm just riding the wave right now, man. I'm riding the wave.
And you deserve it.
No,
Nike
thank
and
you. Thank you.
Nancy, how are you ladies doing tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah,
I'm
Yep.
doing
yeah.
better than
Yep.
Shushu's opponent. I'm doing better than Shushu's opponent.
uh,
Tell you that.
I'm I'm better.
That's
I
right.
was fighting some stuff, so I'm feeling better. It's like everything I could possibly take. It's just like, over to not COVID, but it's like,
good,
oh,
good.
Right,
wait.
right. You're
Yeah,
like, let me
yeah.
As long
And
as
figure
it's
it's
out
not
it's
like,
not
COVID.
COVID.
yeah, yeah, but you know what? It's a reminder. Oh, wait, a cold still exists. Like allergies
Yeah.
still
Right.
Yeah,
exist.
Hmm.
exactly.
you
Right.
know?
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
forget. We
Exactly.
forget.
And now we get to like woo-sa come together and talk about boxing and talk to Shu. And let me just tell you real quick. So I think you've met my friend Stacy Schneider. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty
Mm.
sure you have. And she's got Dallas Boxing, and she's a photographer and writes in a lot of different magazines. But she called me because we were getting ready to come here to Ecuador. So you know how those days are, Shu.
Right,
Like the
right, right.
coaches are
Yeah.
running everybody everywhere. We got the
Yeah.
Walmart run, we got this, we got that.
Right.
So I missed it. She called me and she was like, KO of the year. KO. I was like, I was like
yeah.
screaming in the bed. I had the kids in there. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. And I saw it. And I will say today that I totally agree.
Thank
Totally
you.
agree.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you. Thank
Like
you.
I
Nika,
want to know, I
did
want
you
to know,
see
how
it,
are you
Nancy?
feeling? Yeah,
Yeah.
like I just like let's just all take like a deep breath. Like I want to know, you know, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How's the camp? How's everybody after that, just spectacular performance?
it's a little bit of two things. It's a little bit of, celebratory feeling and everything like that. Everybody's very celebrating, but then at the same time, we're all like, all right, we did that. Now we got to focus on the next fight as well too. Like, what I mean, we can't be
Mhm.
too hype on this.
Mhm.
You're just as good as your last fight, but we're trying to be better than the last fight as well. So we're just,
Smart.
focused on what little things that we need to work on and things of that nature as well. But right now, it's I'm just really happy. Everybody happy. The whole camp is happy. I had a thorough performance in terms of what we worked on in camp. Like, my
Mhm.
defense and everything. If you watch the whole fight, like I felt like I dominated pretty well, and the guy was game. Like throughout the whole fight, like I was glad that I fought a guy like that because he was game. He showed some tenacity. He showed like he wanted to win. Like he was fighting really hard, even with me, putting my combinations together and me giving him what I was giving him. He was really trying really hard, but I had to do what I had to do and stay disciplined to the game plan that me and Coach K and the rest of the camp we put together,
My
and
guy, Coach
everything just
K.
came together, great.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fantastic.
It was like freaking amazing. I mean, I was so excited. I was like literally, like I said, screaming when I saw the highlights and when my friend called me. Maestro, hello. He said, salute to my sisters and to Shushu. I was there Saturday. Explosive
Ah,
KO.
thank you,
Brownsville
thank you.
BK
Yes,
was
Brownsville in
well
the building.
represented.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Oh man, that
Jesus
means a lot.
asked he wants to know who your trainer is, who your
Oh my.
trainers are.
My trainer is Coach K, K Karoma, and I have my assistant trainer John Rosales.
Yeah,
Those are my
Coach
two
K,
trainers.
he's hard to be beat. He works
He's the
with,
man.
for those of y'all that don't know Coach K, he used to be with me, and I wish he still was, but then again, he
Yeah,
wouldn't be with Shu and everybody else because now he's
yeah.
got so many amazing pros. Yeah, he's the man. He's definitely the man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Nah, he's definitely someone that I always knew, like, going in before even going into the pros, that I knew I was gonna make him, my head coach, because of
Yes.
the history that we have since I was a little kid. The communication, the chemistry that we have is second to none, and I'm always, he's like a perfectionist when it comes to, you know, teaching his boxers and stuff like that. And he's very passionate. Like, he has Shakur Stevenson, Jared Anderson, F.A. Ajagba, and all these other guys like
Yes.
Troy Isley. He has all these guys that he already have on his roster and his stable, and he treats me like, I'm one of them. Like, I'm not treated like, lesser than anyone. Like, I get just as much attention as all of these guys, and that's
It's
something
true.
that I craved for so long
It's
in my
true.
boxing career. I've craved
It's
that.
true. And he does. I've seen him. It's like each athlete that's in front of him he just focuses on y'all. It's like there's nobody
Yeah.
else there. It's like focusing on what y'all need to focus on.
Yeah.
C Manzona says, I feel like Coach K is so underrated. I do
Definitely.
too.
Definitely.
And we both know he doesn't like the limelight. He doesn't like
Right.
interviews. He likes to be kind of hidden and like push his boxers up, which is
Right.
amazing too. But he definitely
That's great leadership too. Some of the best leaders.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some of the best leaders will ensure that the spotlight is on their people. So that's great. That's great to hear. To
Yeah.
have
So look,
to have that feeling and give that feeling of it's just you right now. It's
Right.
great.
Everybody needs
what
that.
do you think you
especially
could do?
in-
You said that you're gonna make your next performance better than the last. So I mean, this was like pretty up there. So what can you do next time to
Yeah,
top
people are
this?
saying that's KO of the year. So what?
Yes,
Hey.
I don't know what you could really do next time to top this, but
It's
I
crazy.
mean,
It's crazy because my dad, he was just telling me too. Like, he thought my first knockout was like I couldn't get better than that. Like, that was my peak. And then now that I got this one, he's like, oh man, yeah, this one's gonna be hard to beat, which it might be, But
I don't know.
me, I'm not even.
You're
What's
surprising
so funny?
everybody.
I'm not even a knockout type of guy. I don't go for the knockout. I'm more of a beat you down, and if the knockout comes, the knockout comes. It's just that my past few fights, it's just been happening that way. It just
You
been
set
coming
it
to me
up.
to where
You set
I
it
just
up
set it up. I'm the type of guy, like, I plan each shot before I throw my shots and everything. So it just happens that way. But I'm not the type of guy that looks like, I just want to put on a performance. I don't know. I just want to look sharp, to show a defensive display, a great offensive display. And if the guy's still standing by the time the last bell rings, then he's still standing. But if not, then hey, But
Yeah.
so you
I
just
don't
thought
know.
you was
I probably got to put some tricks up my sleeve. Probably got to do
yeah.
a backflip and punch or something. I don't know. I got to do something.
So wait, you thought you was just hitting him with a regular 2-piece, and you didn't think it was gonna be a knockout? Did
Nah,
you?
I mean, okay. So let me say, in my head when I was throwing the punch, I knew that I was setting him up and I was gonna catch him clean. But when I hit him with that hook, and when I knew he was gonna be out, because I felt it through my arms. Like, I felt I had so much leverage after I threw the right hand for the hook to come right
Wide
after.
open. Yes.
Like, I just knew he was gonna be out, and I still ducked under after the hook just in case.
Just to
He was
get
up,
out the way.
just get out the way just in
So
case.
smart.
But nah, I knew he was out after that hook. Like, it was money. Like, that hook was money.
And that's one of my personal favorite combos. Like, throw one hook, throw the other one right after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's when I love that because it works so much, and I don't see that so often. But when she threw that, I was just like, yes, that's money right there.
Yeah.
So Lee Grove says your nickname works because it is immediately identifiable to you. What is the story behind that?
Okay, so actually, a lot of people ask me this, what does Shoo Shoo mean? Like, where did it come from and whatnot. Honestly, it was just a baby name that my parents and my parents had called me, and they just called me that around everybody because me and my dad had the same name. He's a senior, but yeah, like, it just caught on like wildfire. But the Egyptian meaning to it is the one who rises above all.
Yeah.
And with my history and my story that I have, and the one who rises above all, in Egyptian. So,
that.
yeah, so
I posted that.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean? So with my history and my story, my background and everything like that, and I guess it's kind of fitting, and hopefully throughout my boxing career and the rest of my life, it'll that'll stick.
It could
Absolutely.
also mean like shoo, get out of here. I just
Of
knocked you
course,
out.
Get out the way.
Yo, I swear, if I had $1 for every single time I had that, I'll be a millionaire. I'll be a millionaire at this point. Yeah.
Luis Reyes says you showed poise. Sky's the limit for this young man.
Thank you.
And I was
Thank
going to ask you about
Mhm.
that. The poise. There's a difference to me between like cocky and confident.
Yeah.
And you're, to me, you've got this confidence that is just huge.
Yeah.
And you're not cocky. You're so humble. You're like the nicest guy ever. And
Hey, thank you.
People that don't know you, trust me,
Yeah.
he's like such a charmer and a sweetheart. But
But look,
so,
can I ask a question? Like, you're a nice guy, you're a charmer, but when you got backstage, back in the thing, were you like, oh, I knocked that motherfucker out? Like,
Oh yeah, trust and believe that animal comes out. Listen. At the end of the day, I'm from Brownsville,
Right.
Brooklyn, New York. All right.
yeah, so I
But
know you
listen,
did.
I'm from the hood.
right.
You know what I mean? So that
Right.
hood come out, when it needs to
Yeah.
come out. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't get it twisted. At the end of the day, yeah, I am a nice guy. I'm charming and all of that. But when it needs to come out, it'll come out.
Yeah.
And you've
I
been
think
boxing
that's
since you
good.
were 7 years old, right? You've been
Yeah,
boxing.
yeah,
I
correct.
think I read you've been boxing since you were 7 years old, and
Yeah, correct. And I'm
if
24
you don't
right
mind,
now.
like,
I'll be 25 next month.
yeah, talk us through, what did get you at the ring at that age, and then when you knew, okay, this is going to require like 100% full commitment from me,
Okay.
and who are the people that helped you
Okay, so those are some
at that time?
interesting questions, right? Because the time that I realized that I needed to put 100% commitment to the sport was nowhere near around the time that I started. So I started at the age of 7, and we got into boxing because kids. I used to be a short, scrawny kid, in school, like. I'm 24 years old, and even to this day, I hear that I don't look like I'm 24 years old. Like I look like I'm like 19 or whatever it is. I always looked younger than what I was. So I used to always get picked on by kids like 2 years older than me. And around that time, when you're 2 years older than someone, that makes a difference in size with kids. And the kids would be 2 times bigger than me. And I used to beat up the kids that tried to bully me naturally. Like, you know what I mean? I was just a natural fighter. Like I just never, I never took BS from anyone. And my dad, he kind of saw that and kind of was interested and put me in boxing because he never knew that I was the type of kid to fight and defend myself, because I was nice and, a nice kid, as you said,
Raised very
since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And so I went inside the gym, and I got in, and I started to learn the game so fast. And about a month in, I sparred this kid, same amount of experience as me, and I beat him up so bad that he never came back to the gym. And around that time, I was like, okay, all right, now I love this. Like, this is something like I really want to do for the rest of my life. But that's not the time that I realized that I needed to be 100% committed. I realized that I needed to be 100% committed a little after I was about to quit boxing, and that was around 2018. Around 2018, before that, I used to go into tournaments and do well, but I didn't go as far as my full potential because I used to just rely on my talent. Like I wasn't really working as hard as I do now, and I didn't really, how can I say, surrender. I like to use that word, surrender to the sport of boxing. And I just thought I was doing enough. And around 2018, that's when I started to notice like I was losing more, and I was starting to lose first days in 6-day tournaments, and that like something like that with a guy that has a name like myself. Like you're pretty prideful. You don't lose on the first day of a tournament. That's a 6-day tournament, And I started to like not believe in myself, and I wanted to quit boxing. And other things outside of my life, outside of boxing, was happening too around that time. But I wanted to quit. I wanted to step away from the sport. I didn't want to go to the gym ever. Didn't want to hear nothing about boxing, watch boxing, nothing. And my dad was like, "Yo, bro, like." It was like, "Yo, bro, like you're losing to these guys, these top level guys, by split decision. Like no one's beating your ass. Like they're you're losing by split decision. Like,
Mhm.
if you dedicated yourself to the sport, if you surrendered to the sport, imagine what you would be doing to these guys. And that right there, that's what clicked to me. That moment right there when he said that to me, that clicked, and I was like, "You're right. I never really surrendered. I just did just enough, so
Mhm.
I would get just to the finals, but I would never go to win the full thing." And when I
Mhm.
finally decided to do that, get up 4 in the morning, run 5-6 miles, spar,
Oof.
train 3 times a day, and then just perform, I started to see. I started to reap the benefits of those things, and then I went into the Olympic qualifiers and the Olympic trials and won those things, and I just never looked back, and I just I found a new love in boxing. I started to travel with the USA team. I started to visit all these different people, meet new people, fight all these different experienced people, and man, that experience changed my life.
And a lot of
That's
people don't
awesome.
realize your group went through a lot of trials and tribulations.
Definitely,
During
100% with the
the
COVID, with the pandemic and
yes,
everything.
with the
Yeah,
2020 Olympics, the COVID. But I was so amazed by the way that y'all bounced back and got it together. And everybody that was in that group is doing freaking amazing. Even
yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
all the
Yeah.
disappointment, after all the COVID crap and everything else that happened, y'all just were so resilient,
Yeah,
which to me is amazing. And it says so much about your character.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
Remy
you know
said,
what?
what?
You're part of that. You're part of that. The what are we going to call y'all? The Fabulous Five, the Fantastic Five. You're part of you're part of the Olympians from Tokyo.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I would like to say
That
so.
went
They,
under
Yeah,
contract at
they,
the same time, right,
yeah,
Christine?
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they're like
Definitely.
the COVID babies
Right,
that made
right,
it.
right, right.
I mean, really, it's unbelievable. The things that they went through, and of course, we know all the stuff. It was just it was crazy. It was crazy, but everybody held it together. Remy wants to know what your weight class is.
Oh, I'm a featherweight. Featherweight, what? 126. I fight at 126.
And Jesus said, "What improvements are you working on looking back at your fights?"
I mean, one of the main things I think that I saw in my fight, that there were times when I got a little bit too excited and with the crowd and stuff like that, where I was trying to get the knockout. Like the first round, like I hurt him pretty bad, and I was trying too hard to get the knockout, and I was forcing it and it wasn't coming to me. So I need to just I need to remind myself to stay relaxed, even though I'm in front of my home crowd. And don't rush, and also like I smothered a few of my shots. I just gotta just stay disciplined and stick to the game plan. And when I did that, the knockout came to me. So I guess those are the only two things that I could say, because you know those are the main things that stood out to me when I watched the fight.
And
What
I
did you
think
think
it's so
about?
tough sometimes. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Micah.
No, what did you think about Berlinga's performance?
I
Because
was
I
yeah,
heard a lot of people like really that not really impressed with Berlinga, and
Yeah.
your fight was actually the talk of the night.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But my opinion on Berlinga's fight, I feel like you could tell like the camp worked on Rolls actually staying there, trying to stay there in the pocket and try to like fight with Berlinga. But Rolls camp kind of came with a different game plan, which I don't think that Berlinga was prepared for, and he was kind of running in my opinion. Just like when jabbing, every single time Berlinga threw a punch or even fainted, like it seemed like uh, you know, uh, Rose would kind of like run or like curl into a ball and kind of a thing. But he fought the right game plan in order to fight Edgar Berlanga, because Edgar was pretty flat footed, and it was hard for him to catch up or cut the ring off for Rose and everything like that. So I honestly feel like Edgar did enough to win, but and when you're stepping up in competition, man, he had to do a little bit more in terms of like throwing a jab and cutting off the ring properly, or putting his combinations together, starting down
He
to
had
the
to do
body
what
and
you
bringing his
did.
punches up top.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna say all that, but yeah, just I would just like to see a little bit more in his arsenal because I've grown up with Edgar. Like me and him trained in the same gym. Like actually,
Yeah.
the gym that I started in. When he came in, he joined that gym, and I was his first sparring partner when he first came into that gym. And me and him, we was actually around the same size. We was working a lot together. We grew up together. Me and his dad, we were really close and everything. We're like family. So I am well aware of what he's capable of. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of upset that I didn't get to see too much of that during the fight. But hey, we live, we learn, we grow, and I hope that he learned from this fight so he can come back stronger for the next one.
Something that you said
that I was gonna make. You said that you have to like be careful to not get too excited with the crowd and stuff like that. You have to just like really be poised. And I was thinking, I know that Berlanga had so many like rappers, movie stars, everything, and
we were talking about that, Christine.
Feeling it.
We were just talking about that. So it's like I think that sometimes that can really affect somebody if they don't have, the mental strength at the moment to get through it. Like, what? It's not about them. It's not about the crowd. It's about this person in front of me and what I have to do. And I think that that's so important, and I think that's why you're able to do what you do. And it's not about, I don't know if it's a learned thing or it's a natural thing, or we need, sports psychologists. What are your thoughts on that?
I honestly feel like, it's I think that's something that you have to train yourself to be prepared to be prepared for, because I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with all of that guys, the movie stars, rappers or whatever, superstars coming to you and showing your support for your fight and whatnot, and but it's like, yeah, you definitely need to be prepared for that lifestyle, because at the moment that you take that L, that's when a lot of people are going to start scurrying away. And I've had a situation like that to where it was at a minute level, but I remember my first time fighting in the Golden Gloves, about 17 years old. And New York Golden Gloves is big. It's a big deal. And I was already making my name.
Wasn't that during the Crawford fight? Was that during the Crawford fight? We were there?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is years ago. This is like back in 2016. Okay. Yeah. So around that time, like I was the man in New York already. Like, my name is already buzzing crazy out in New York, and I'm becoming, going into the elite division. So me going into the Golden Gloves, my first time, like I said, the Golden Gloves is big. You get all this media and everything. Like, I'm on the radio. I'm telling anybody, like, yo, yeah, come to my fight, on the hottest radios and everything, right? So when I tell you I had a packed house, something like how it was out in my last fight, and I was showing off in front of the crowd to where and I was overly confident to an opponent that I thought that was easy work, and that boy came. He came sharp. He came ready. I wasn't prepared for it, and he won. And I embarrassed myself in front of everybody. Embarrassed myself, and it took up until this fight for people to finally say, "Oh, Shushu's the man again." You know what I'm saying? Like, people was always like, "Oh man, yeah, Shushu better not lose or show off or showboat like how he did that one fight, bro." I was 17 years old, bro.
People don't forget, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, they did, like you said, right? They don't forget. They never gonna forget. So yeah, like, you always gotta, kind of, mentally stay on point and prepare yourself for that moment, for when all that big crowd is coming to you, or you fight in a big stadium, or movie stars, superstars coming to see you. At the end of the day, focus on your craft and focus on what you have to do. Because at the end of the day, once you take that L, people are gonna leave. They're not gonna care about it.
They don't give two fucks about you after that.
People are always gonna be around for the
like you anymore. Yeah,
they're always gonna be around.
But that's a lot for young fighters to like have to deal with. Like, especially in New York, you at Madison Square Garden, your name is lit up in the lines. You have all these celebrities. It's a lot to like live up to. So, hopefully he doesn't let that go to his head. And
right, because he's such a nice guy, and he is a good talent. I mean, he really, really is, and I've defended him, like, because you know, they just have to regroup and get things together. But it's there. We just can't. We just gotta. You know, it's gonna happen. Punch Smollett says Shoo Shoo beats the brakes off of Haney.
Yeah, he's trying to start some. He's trying to start something over there. Man. Get out of here. I'm trying to be an instigator. Get out of here, man. Yeah, man. But I want to give you guys a little insider, right? You guys are gonna be the first. You guys are the first people to know this. A little insider, real quick. So, as you, I don't know if you've seen like throughout the, I've been moving my hands around or whatever throughout this whole interview, but I have a hand brace on my hand.
Yeah, so I saw your hand. I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. So that actually happened on my second fight, the first KO. The first round, I was lining the guy up for the right hand. Like when I tell you, I was literally like lining him up so like obviously, like I thought he was gonna at least duck it or like block it or something. He leans right into it, and I didn't close my hand fast enough, and I hit my knuckle.
Ooh.
You know, I mean, right in the first round. So I had to fight through that into the second round and then knock the guy out or whatever. But and then me going through camp or whatever, like I was training with it, and it still was kind of hurting me a lot to where I barely sparred through that throughout my life.
And this was in camp. I mean, you were like, shit.
Yeah, so
fight.
So up until like right before, I think the week before this fight, my last fight, I'll go and take an MRI, and they said that I actually had a torn ligament in my knuckle in the right hand.
Oh my goodness!
So I fought 5 rounds. My last fight with a torn ligament in my hand.
Because I was going to ask you, how does your hand feel after this fight? Because that knockout looks so like devastated. Yeah. I don't want to say like, damn, that had to hurt your hand too. But I know when you restarted, I saw the and I was like, "This something like his hand." But I'm not gonna say nothing unless he does.
Nah. Luckily, it doesn't hurt as bad as it did because some scar tissue has built and helped with the healing and stuff like that. And I've been doing some therapy and whatnot with my hand. Like, you know, I've been building up the strength. I've been squeezing on this. I'm using the hand thing, but squeezing on this right here. And I've been putting my hand in the ice, you know, grabbing rice and whatnot, doing all of that type of stuff, hand exercises. So it's been helping, it's been working. But I have to keep this on until my next follow-up checkup and see.
So right now they just want you to rest right here.
Oh yeah.
They don't want no surgery.
They don't want me to the doctors told me like, hey, like after you get this fight, you're done with this fight, do not use your hand, let it rest, and wear this at all times. So I was like, okay, I'll wear it after the fight or whatever. So
and people and I'm gonna make this comment, and then we have a great question from Lee, but people don't realize all of the things that you guys go through. It's like y'all know, your team knows, like little injuries that can turn into big injuries. Just you know, it's like your bodies go through so much. I think that I have not known anybody that's been totally 110% going into a fight.
Right.
You know, it just kind of tells you the mentality and the heart of these guys and girls, you know?
Definitely, 100%. Like, there was no way. Like, I was telling my dad was thinking, like, man, because when I tell you, I think, like, so we had like a 4-week camp. Week, like, 2 or week 3 into camp, like, I could not use my right hand at all. Like, I couldn't tap with it at all. Nothing. I couldn't punch with it at all. My dad was like, bro, like, yo, we're gonna have to pull out. I'm like, no. I'm fine. We'll beat this dude up with one hand. Like, I do not care. Like, bro, like, I'm fighting. Like, you're not telling me I'm not pulling out. I don't care what you're telling. I'll lie to the doctor and tell the doctor I'm okay. You know, like I don't care. Like, bro, I'm good. I will fight this guy with one hand, and I will beat him up. I do not care. I was trained too hard for this. I do not care.
And nobody would have ever known. They would have never ever known. But he has a great question. What factors persuaded you and your teammates to sign with Top Rank over the promoters, and what other promoters courted you all? Because, I mean, right now Top Rank has got the guys.
A nice young stable,
definitely.
Yes.
So I'll go to the second question first.
Okay.
I've got some people like DAZN, PBC. They shot some offers to me. a Probellum, you know, a few people, you know, they shot some offers to me, Ring City and all them guys like they, but the main reason that I chose Top Rank was I just looked at their history, to be honest. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're like Barbara Arama has been in the business for decades, and it's kind of like the longest lasting promotional company that's like that's out of the big three, which is the Top Rank, PBC, and DAZN. Like they have flourished through time, and they know how to
Mm-hmm.
adapt. And they shown that they know how to adapt when the pandemic even hit. Like they were the first out of the big three to have a card and have their own bubble while the pandemic was going on, while quarantine was going on and
So
stuff like that.
true.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
true.
Yeah.
Top Rank was giving you fights week after week after week, every weekend. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the main things. Their platform, they have ESPN. Like everybody
Yeah.
that's a sports fan, they watch ESPN, and it's like, why would you not want your fights to be on? Like now, like look, after that knockout, like I got on the top 10 plays on ESPN for for the week. I was number 6 on the top 10 plays. Like that's crazy
Yes.
exposure.
Yes,
Like
That's
me and
so
my
yeah.
thing
true.
is like
Awesome.
I'm a businessman at the same time when it comes to just boxing. Like boxing is all
Mm-hmm.
about how you can fight, but it's all about how you can sell yourself as well too, and building a name, and building your brand. And
Yep.
ESPN is probably the best platform that you can do that on when it comes to like sports spectators. And I plan on. I always planned on being like something like really big. I want to be like Sugar Ray Leonard and them type of guys. So I definitely that was like a no brainer to pick Top Rank, man.
Well,
Yeah.
and one of the things that I want to quote just on this topic is what Bob Arum did say about you, upon signing, and it's Bruce Carrington is one of the great American amateurs of his generation, and he has the makeup and skills to be a future world champion. So those are
Thank you.
powerful words,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you are showing people that in fact he's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
C. Munoz said that. He's like, as much as folks claim to hate Bob Arum, he does have the history. Well spoken, Mr. Shushu. It's true. I mean he does. He has the history, he has everything. Look at his, he signed all the Olympians,
Yes.
I mean,
He signed all the guys, man. That's crazy.
it's like really like it's yeah, he's very, very smart. Lee said very well thought out answer, and I agree on all points. Another is that Top Rank's matchmakers are top notch.
100%.
Absolutely.
Especially for my weight class. Especially that's another reason why I picked
Yes.
him. Especially for my weight
Yes.
class. He has all the good guys that's in my weight class.
I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Nika, do you have a question for Shu?
So what do you have planned next? Like, do they have? Do you know who you're shooting for at the
Right
next
now,
fight?
I'm just enjoying my victory. I'm recovering. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when we get to, thinking about the next fight and everything, we'll get there. But I'll definitely be in the ring, very soon, probably in the next 2-3 months. Not gonna be too long. I'm definitely, I'm the type of guy that I love being in the ring. I hate being out the ring for too long. I love training. I love fighting. So you're definitely gonna see me again soon, very soon. And yeah, man. But right now, I'm just focused on just celebrating. Not nothing too much, of course, but yeah, I'm just taking and basking into this victory.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Nancy, what you got for Shu?
Yeah, so I want to hear. I just love hearing on how you got there. So you did. Thank you so much. You answered my questions earlier. But as you think, having got to this point, what moment, what event was perhaps the most challenging for you prior to where you are right now? Whether it was a particular fight, just when you think back at the start of the career, right? Like you started at 7, and like you said, it took you some time. But what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced?
I think honestly, really, one of the most biggest challenges I faced was when I was about to quit boxing and me getting back into it, because I kind of like skipped over a little part. Like when I quit, it was like, obviously, like I said, like it was, I thought I plateaued or whatever because I was like losing first day in tournaments and whatnot. But when I decided to come back, it was like mind you, I never get beat up in sparring, like ever. Like I don't like if I am if someone got the best of me, I was still in the fight. They just got a little bit of the best of me, but I never get beat up. I was getting beat up in sparring, you know what I'm saying? And it was really draining on the mind because I know myself. I'm like, bro, this does not happen to me, and I'm getting tired. Like in the first and second round, I can't even like keep my hands up, throw no punches. And I'm sparring like these top notch guys that I usually like give trouble to, and I'm just getting beat up, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And the whole time my dad is like looking at me, smirking and smiling while I'm getting beat up, and I'm complaining to him how I can't breathe and how I'm not the same. And I'm just doubting myself. He's looking at me smiling. I'm like, bro, what are you smiling at, bro? Like, there's nothing that funny. Like, what's going on? He's like, yo, bro, you're supposed to get beat up. You was going for months, bro. Like, what do you expect? Like, you're not gonna come right back to where you used to be. Like, I mean, relax. Yeah. Stay consistent with what we're doing. Keep waking up 4 o'clock in the morning, training 3 times a day. Stay consistent. It's all right. It's gonna come. Like around 2 weeks in, it still wasn't coming around, and I was just kind of like about to quit. Like I just about to give up. I'm like, bro, it's not working. A month in, things started to come together. I started to get my win back. I started to get my reactions back and reflexes and everything back, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And then I think that around that time, I went to Deontay Wilder's gym down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I sparred this guy. Like when I tell you, like that at the time, that was like the hottest gym I've ever been into. Like it's scorching, like And I sparred like 6 rounds with this one guy, 2 rounds with this other guy, and another 2 rounds with another guy. So I sparred like 10 rounds in total, straight in that weather condition. I was like, oh yeah, and I beat all of them up, by the way. I was like, oh yeah, all right, we're somewhere. We're back. So I feel like that mental hurdle, like that mental mountain that I went through. I'm saying like that right there, because I could have quit plenty of times before I saw the mountaintop. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I could have quit, man, and it was just like, yo, just that's a testament to to my mentality for real. But
absolutely.
Absolutely. No, totally. Like just the strength that it took for you to get out of that, mindset that you were in to the one that you needed to be in to move forward and succeed. So one of my last questions, Christine, because I like asking this question kind of on the fun side here. So let's talk food because, okay, so you've made weight, right?
Yeah.
What is Shushu eating? What is the first thing you're eating after weight and after the win? What are you eating?
Well, to be honest, Christine knows like I'm vegan. I've been on a vegan diet for 4 years
vegan?
now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Listen, hey, try vegan food, man. Like I promise you. Yeah, you can adopt vegan food into your diet, into how you eat, like probably 3 days, 4 days. Like, listen, I promise you try it, you're gonna love it. Like, especially the things that I try. Like, I show you some stuff.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I need my steak.
I need my steak.
Oh Lord, I need my steak.
Yeah, I don't try to convert everyone. I just let everybody know what it does and how well it is for me. Hey, you saw I knock that guy out, right? You see
that? And I'm struggling over here. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out
but yeah, so usually, especially when I'm in training camp, like I cut my meals pretty short, especially when I'm cutting late. So my first go-to meal, honestly, is 2 PB&J jelly sandwiches and a silk dark chocolate almond milk. I drink the silk dark chocolate almond milk for electrolytes and recovery. I drink that for that. That's better. That's better for vegans for folks. That's funny. I drink dark chocolate almond milk for electrolytes and recovery because dark chocolate is better than a Pedialyte with electrolytes and everything like that.
Yeah,
I'm writing this down for my 13-year-old son. He's not intolerant. He just doesn't like berries. So I'm like, you're giving me some ideas there.
Yeah. Definitely. I could go through
he's very smart.
a whole vegan thing and expose you guys, like try to like tell you
Yeah,
how
he can.
this, but that's a whole
why
nother
we go
interview.
there with him.
That's a whole
I'm
nother
interested.
interview.
Wait, I just want to take note. I'm interested. I've ventured off. There's things that I actually like. It's just really intimidating to just go like just full force. I need like baby steps. Okay, that'd be another conversation.
Yeah,
It's
right,
like, can I
right.
just eat meat on Sundays or Fridays?
like me, I
need my steak.
I tell people if you want to try vegan and stuff like that, like do it like at least 2 or 3 times a day. Like out of the week, give like 2 or 3 days out of the week where those are vegan days. Like you can still do your thing, but just have vegan days and then see how you feel.
So good. What was it? The eggplant parmesan. Yeah. Oh my god, I need
my beef and my.
We had to stay. We had to like live at the Elegante Hotel for a while, and I was ordering that. I was like, man, this right here, this vegan, it's so good.
Yeah, I feel like if I was to do vegan like 2-3 times a week, the days that I would eat the meat, I would really like be a savage.
I promise you. You know what's crazy? I promise you won't. I promise you won't, because you'll start to realize how you feel opposed from eating the meat, from eating the food the vegan food, and then you're gonna start looking at it different. You're gonna start realizing what it does to your body and stuff like that, and how you feel, because that's what it made me feel like. I used to get sick probably like 5-6 times a year. Like I was like my immune system wasn't that good, and my asthma used to always trigger. I have asthma, so it used to always trigger when I get sick and stuff like that. It wasn't, but once I became vegan, like that reverses those type of sickness. It reverses asthma, reverses diabetes, reverses cancer. It does that. Yeah. You get all of that medicine just treats it. All of these doctors going over there telling you, go medicine, buy medicine. You're just putting money in their pocket so they can put their kids through college, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just treating you. They're not curing you. They cure you one time deal.
I want a steak right now. That's talking about. I want a steak right now.
Listen, the steak is good, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like, shoot, I used to love me some steak. I used to have like steak medium or medium rare. Like I used to eat steak like that. I promise you, that was me.
But... So shoot. What's interesting to me about that is how much the what I've seen. I'm not saying you. Just the people that I've spoken to that are vegan, how much effort goes into trying to make food taste like meat?
I mean, well, not too much, to be honest, because really, I mean, all you have to do is just make the food similar to how you make your meat. Because if you really think about it, the only reason why
you eat tofu, you do the tofu thing.
Yeah, I do the tofu thing sometimes too. But
Here comes your dad. Here's your dad.
Yeah, I see my father. What's up, Pop?
Hi, Dad.
Yeah.
I might become vegan, Dad.
So yeah, I do the tofu thing from time to time, but I'm not really like a soy type of guy too much. So I do different meat alternatives like seitan or oyster mushrooms or tempeh or bardock root, jackfruit. Like there's different type of meat alternative that you can make taste like meat. Like literally the only reason why the meat that you tastes good is because you season it with the vegan stuff, with your herbs, with the ground, with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason why. Listen, like, all right, so I'm gonna leave the vegan thing alone after I say you this, right? I'm gonna say 2 things, right? So if like when you see a cow alive,
don't do that.
Or see a pig, like is that appetizing to you when you see it walking alive and stuff like that? Look, she's like, is it appetizing to you seriously when you see a cow walking wild? So would you eat a cow like
that, man?
Right. Okay. Now, would you eat it when it's cooked in a burger and stuff? Would you eat a burger?
I fuck a burger up.
Right. Okay. Now, so now that's the they put in your mind that you have to make it not look like what it looks like in order for you to eat it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But
no, let me tell you,
a lion, if it would see a gazelle live, it's gonna be mouth watering. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that's a nice gazelle right there. You know what I'm saying?
No, but
it's made to eat that. It's made for it to be. We're not made to eat that. We're supposed to. Our eyes that's why like lions and stuff like that, like they're meant to eat meat because like they're even like the colored like that, they're made to see those
What
things. They're
they
not
see
look.
is
They're
what they
made to see
want,
fruits.
like just like
Exactly.
it is. Like, yeah, okay, I
Us, we
got you.
can see vibrant of
I
colors
see
and
what you're
whatnot. We
saying.
would eat fruits and whatnot, and
Okay,
even
we
our
gotta
intestines are
disguise
made
it.
differently. You know?
Okay.
No, but my ex stepfather, he made us a hamburger one time. He disguised it as a hamburger, but it was liver. And I bit into that
Oh
liver
yeah.
burger and I almost died. I
Yeah.
almost died. So, you know, if I bite into a veggie burger, I fucking I lose
No,
it. I
no.
will
See,
lose
don't
it.
try.
I
Don't
actually
try
like
veggie
veggie
burgers.
burgers.
Don't try
I
veggie
do
burgers.
too.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of veggie
I can do
burgers.
both.
I like Beyond or Impossible burgers. Those are my burgers I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to try.
yeah.
Or,
I
or
need
like
to I need to try those.
or like mushroom burgers.
They're
Those
good. They're
Beyond
good.
Impossible
Yeah, I
mushroom
like
burgers.
mushroom burgers.
Those are my
Yeah.
favorite. Don't try
I
veggie
like
burgers. Veggie
portobello
burgers not my
mushroom
favorite.
burgers. Those are so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. They're
This
good.
is funny. HLD said vegan meals on date night is the best. Trust me, guys. She will thank you
See?
later. This is a family
I'm
show,
telling
so
you.
I'm not going to say what I really want to say. I'm just going to say I call BS. But
No,
nah.
I'm telling you. Listen, if you come to New York, I'll put you onto this spot. I'll put you on a plenty of spots out here. I'll put you on, and there's so many good things, man. I promise you. I promise.
Yeah,
you.
Nando on the chat was talking about that soy chorizo from Trader Joe's. I think that's the second time that he's mentioned it, and I'm adding that to the list along with the soy chocolate milk
Okay.
because
Yeah.
or the almond. I'm sorry,
No,
did you say it was soy or almond? Almond.
Yeah, almond dark chocolate milk, not chocolate, dark chocolate milk.
Excuse me while I write the rest down.
Yeah.
Take your notes. Definitely take your notes. Okay, so
you take the notes.
I want to ask you. So there's so many. Like, I'm not into fantasy matchups. Like, I'm not. Like, it's like when people say, "Oh, who would win?" You know, Superman or Batman, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, But I do want to ask you your favorite female fantasy or non-fantasy matchup today. What would that be?
Clarissa Shields and Layla Ali.
Okay.
I would love to watch that. I would love to see that.
Okay.
I would love to see that.
That was brewing. That was
let's
brewing
go
for a
step
little bit, but then it died
Yeah.
down.
How would that go?
Clarissa Shields all the way.
Okay,
No.
let's remember how tall Layla is.
Yeah, no, realistically. Yeah, I'll give a realistic
go?
answer. I like, I love Clarissa. I love Clarissa so much.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? That's my
absolutely.
homegirl. Yeah, I mean, so honestly, what I honestly say, right? I've never seen like skill for skill. I got Clarissa, to be honest, because I've never seen anyone with the skills of Clarissa, the head movement, the speed, and what she does and everything like that. I've seen Layla Ali fight plenty of times, and she's great in her own right. You know what I'm saying? But Layla Ali edges Clarissa with the power as well.
I was gonna say who has more knockouts.
She's naturally bigger than Clarissa, and she's shown the power with her knockouts and everything like that. She has a better knockout ratio than Clarissa and everything. But I think honestly, and all due respect to both fighters, but honestly, I feel like Clarissa Shields would win with the IQ that she has, because like I honestly don't see
I can agree with IQ.
I honestly don't see anyone with this IQ like Clarissa. Like, she is amazing when she fights, bro. Like, the head movement, I don't see like that. Like, bro, power and everything is cool. And Layla Ali has much more than power. Like, she has speed and she has IQ, in herself as well. But you got to hit Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy to hit her. And she knows how to get you out your game by talking. And she's so brash. She's a fighter, a female fighter I've never seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? So
she talks like she's from New York.
Yo, yeah, for real. Like, you know what I mean? And then she goes, like, I've never seen a fighter go from weight classes. Like, usually fighters go up in weight class. She's coming down in weight classes and taking belts. Like, it's crazy how that's unheard of, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's just a monster.
I agree.
She's a monster. She's like, I want it all.
Matchup would be if they were the same weight, and it's they're two right now, would be Clarissa and Amanda Serrano.
Ooh,
if they were the same weight right now,
that'll be funny. Oh my gosh, that'll be like fireworks. Amanda Serrano is amazing, bro.
And you know what?
Shout out to
Amanda, nothing away from Katie, because Katie is a badass.
That was actually a fantasy fight for me. until now is happening. That was actually a fantasy fight for me, so I can't say a fantasy fight. Like I'm
Yeah.
so happy that fight is happening, yo. I'm
Yeah.
all
we
eyes on
know
it.
we know Billy was with her, with
Yeah,
Katie,
yeah,
during her upbringing or whatever, and that's
yeah.
gonna be a great fight. But beyond that, the fantasy fight to me would be Serrano, Clarissa, if they were the same weight class.
Same weight class.
That
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be
Definitely.
yes.
I would love to have
Like,
seen it.
absolutely, ladies. What do y'all think? What would y'all's fantasy fights be? Also, I love Ann Wolf, so I'm just saying. But
It
anyway,
would be me. It would
Well,
be me and a couple of.
hey, and
Let me shut.
I'm in your
I'm
corner,
drinking.
Cutman.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm drinking.
exactly.
Let me shut up before I start some shit.
I
But
got the spit
that,
bucket. I'm being according with the
yeah.
spit
Let me
bucket.
tell you, I would. I'll probably lose a couple of pounds and get in the ring with a couple of monsters, so-called monsters in there.
Nancy,
So
what about
just pass
you?
me. Just pass me and go to Nancy.
No. So here's what's happened though. Here's what's happened is that now that you've planted, Serrano and Shields, I can't get past that now. Like that would be ideal. That
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's not just from like skill level, but it's like Shushu was saying, what these ladies bring, outside of the ring as well, with them. Just that grit, that talk. I think that would make it a very, very interesting fight because, the
And Amanda has won
Katie,
how many?
yeah.
Like in 7. What? How many different weight classes? 7. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, Amanda, I felt like she doesn't get talked about enough, honestly.
She
Like,
doesn't.
all due respect to Clarissa Shields and everything like that as well, too. Like she's done,
Yes.
but Amanda, oh my gosh, like she doesn't get talked about enough, and I don't know why. Like she
Because
really has
she's
done the
really like,
unthinkable.
yeah, she's one of those people that talk with her hands, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
she don't
I
really
agree.
be talking that shit online or doing none of that. She's really like
Yeah.
a laid back fighter that like just shows whatever she has
I
in the
agree.
ring.
yeah, she's great in the
Yeah,
UFC, well, the MMA and stuff too. You know what I'm saying as well. Like
Exactly.
she's done great in that as well. Like man, like I don't like she doesn't get talked about enough, and it's cool that she's partnered up with Logan Paul and stuff like that
I
now, helping out
love that.
promotion, and
I love it.
that's kind of giving her more notoriety,
Yes.
more attention. But that's still not enough for me. I feel like she should
Right.
be
She should.
all over New York and all over really
Mhm.
talked about right now. She's
Yeah.
I feel like Katie Taylor is talked about more than her, and that should not
Yes, that's true.
be. That
That's
should
true.
not be.
I totally
Yeah.
agree with Long Live Boxing though. Ann Wolf.
So do I.
Me too. And HLD and Wolf beats both Layla and Shields. I'm just saying. I'm a that's my girl. I know her, and that girl is.
I think so too.
no
I ain't gonna lie.
nonsense.
And Wolf was
And
a
And Wolf
fucking
was
beast.
tough.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
she's
you,
a
I
fucking
won't
beast,
name
man.
names or anything, but I have seen Ann totally walk up on grown men that have walked away, and she has done some
Yeah.
things. The girl is bad. She's bad.
Yeah. No,
I'm saying.
and Wolf is tough. And Wolf was tough.
Yes, exactly.
I wish and Wolf, and that's another fantasy fight, Lil Ali and Wolf. I wish that actually
Oh
happened.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
wish that actually
So you
happened.
ask
that's a good
Ann,
one right there.
Layla didn't want it. You ask
Layla and didn't want it.
and didn't
Yeah.
And didn't want it.
Trust me.
I don't see Ann backing out on no fight like that.
She
I'm
didn't.
sorry.
She wanted it. She wanted
Yeah.
it. She said, "You don't care how big she is, whatever." She wanted that fight. Yeah, that was.
We were
that was
so one of the things that, because again, now I can't get Amanda and Clarissa out of my head now. As we talk the fantasy fight, it's like yes, right, but they would bring what I think we see missing with the Katie and Amanda matchup, which is the talk, right? And we've talked this, like some matchups, like it's okay that it's a bit like that cordial, like we're here for business, and kind of that fact of get along, peace, and all that stuff. Fights, there's matchups where we're okay with that, but this one, if it had a little bit of that, what Shields would bring from the talk, I think it would just help elevate the matchup even more.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I totally agree with that.
Nancy,
They say
your mic is popping. That's what HLD said. You know, and that's the thing.
Oh,
It's like
again? Okay, sorry.
it's okay. These women are bringing the fights that we want to see, and I want to see some of these men, the pound for pound, the top in their weight classes come together. It's like the women are doing to me right now what we want to see the men doing as well. I
Yeah,
mean, do
yeah,
y'all agree?
definitely,
Do y'all
yeah,
know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure,
I agree. That's
for
true.
sure.
But
Well, you know, women
it's
always kind of always
I think a
do.
lot of guys take their time and trying to um build like the promotion of
Balls.
certain fights and whatever. But sometimes like they wait a little too long. Like you don't want to Mayweather and Pacquiao. You don't want to Amir Khan and Kell Brook. You don't want that to happen. Like I really,
Yeah.
really,
Right.
really want Errol Spence and Terence Crawford to fight
Oh my God.
this
Yes.
year. Like
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want
Yeah.
these. I don't want no one to take
Please.
an L to where it just takes the
Exactly.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't
Takes
want
the
nobody
lack
to
of
Right.
the
get
luster out of the
older
fight.
and
Yeah.
they're still in their
Right.
prime still. They're in their peak. And I feel like why not now? The time is now to make the fight happen. Like I don't know what's going on, but
Absolutely.
I would love
And
to
I
watch
will
that fight.
pay double,
Seriously.
triple whatever pay-per-view price I have to pay. Like
Yeah,
would
to watch
they
that.
would make so much money. I would pay like so much money for that. I'd pay $500. Like seriously, it's like
Seriously,
let's
yeah.
do it.
And I'm trying to be in the building for that. True.
Hey, oh, me too. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, I am too. So what do you think about the Rolly and Tank fight?
I feel like
He
one thing-
laughs.
How does Michael feel
He's
about
like,
it?
wait, let me preface with a giggle.
One thing I want to say before I even get into that, right? I'm super, super duper happy for Rolly for getting over
Yes.
that scandal that he had,
Yes.
but being wrongfully accused of rape. Like there's so much
But
going
I don't know
on
if
right
it,
now.
I
Nika,
don't know
hold
if it
on,
was
hold on. Nika's
wrongfully.
about to jump in.
I don't know if it was
Listen.
wrongfully. There was just not enough evidence to prove what she
Rightly.
accused him of.
Okay,
I don't know
I
if it was wrongfully.
understand that. I understand that, right? But see, the thing is, it's just the fact that it's so much going on with men, and especially men in position right now, like Chris Brown,
Because she
Drake.
wasn't the only
Chris-
one that made. I know, but
I-
she wasn't the only one that made a claim either.
I understand that.
Want to
That's
put that out there.
100%. I understand that, right? And I'm not saying that what she was saying was probably nothing that happened. I don't know. It doesn't my business. But what I do know is that there has been a lot of things going on recently with Drake, Chris Brown,
Yeah,
I
no,
agree.
there's
songs
definitely people
with
who
girls
wrongfully
trying to
accuse
just make a
people.
come up. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see
I
Drake with the
agree.
girl trying to sue him for putting hot sauce in a condom. Why are you looking
Right.
in the garbage for the condom putting it to yourself for? Why?
Exactly.
No, there's
What are you doing that
definitely
for?
hood rats out there doing
You know
the
what I'm
worst.
saying? Like,
You know,
what is that
making
about?
it bad
Like
for
Drake,
people who are
like,
actually being sexually assaulted. But because
yeah,
look, I've worked
Right.
with doctors who have like sexually come on to me like in the most disgusting way, and I
right,
didn't have
right.
proof of
I'm
it,
not saying
so
that
I
it doesn't
couldn't,
happen. Like there are some creeps
Sure,
out
it
there.
does
I couldn't
happen.
report it.
Sure.
You know, so it does happen.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know,
Like, yeah, it definitely does happen. And women, man, it's like a scary world out there for y'all, man, because there's always guys like gawking and looking and stuff like that. And there's some perverts out there, seriously. But for the guys that aren't, and the guys that are innocently
Right.
just,
Right.
just trying to, like, just live life and do their thing, they're being targeted. And like I said, like I didn't know actually that it wasn't the fact that he didn't get enough, that she didn't have enough evidence and everything to where the case was dismissed. But still I'm happy to see that the fight is going on. He's got a second chance or whatever, and
Yeah.
he can get this payday. But Tank is gonna. I feel like I think Tank may beat him, honestly. But I feel like Rolly don't count him out because he does. He definitely still has that equalizer with his power. Like even though Rolly can, he looks like it's funny, he talks all that trash, but he has that awkwardness that can be troublesome. He has he can make sure he can give you some
Yeah. And
issues in
he's
the
very
ring.
heavy-handed.
Seriously.
He's heavy-handed as well.
Yeah, he's heavy-handed
Yeah.
and everything. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely give problems to Tank, and it can be an interesting fight. People might not make it an interesting fight. I mean, people might not think that it'll be an interesting fight or whatever. They think it's just gonna sweep him and walk all over him, but no, like
no,
I
I
it
think
could be
it's gonna
interesting.
give him competition because he is heavy-handed and like it's I think anybody can get caught with
Yeah, yeah. It takes
Right.
one shot.
one of
It
those
takes
two
one
pieces
shot.
that you did Saturday. Anybody
Nah,
can
And
get
the
yeah.
Rolly's trash
Yeah, it
talk
takes
to
one
me
shot.
is good for the sport. The trash talk that
Right,
is good for the
right.
sport. It's like now I want to see the fight. Like before, maybe
Yeah,
not, but
seriously. Whether or not
now
it's
it's just
funny or
like,
not, it's
yeah,
still entertaining. You want to watch it. Just like even when Nate Robinson
Cobbs,
and
Cobbs,
Logan
and
Paul
no,
was
but
talking to him and
Cobbs.
stuff like that. Yeah. You know
No,
what I'm
but
saying?
Cobbs was talking his shit.
Right, right,
He
exactly.
made
But
people
we
come
tuned
in. He
in
wanted people
though.
to
But
tune
we
in,
tuned
and he
in
got his ass
because of
beat.
that.
But
Yeah.
we
Exactly. You know what
tuned
I'm
in.
saying? So that's what makes you tune in. All that stuff is funny. You want to watch it. And I'm very interested in watching this fight.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's like Rolly and Cobbs. Like that's what we need.
Yeah, yeah.
And Nancy and I, were on the round table last night. Was it? No, I'm sorry. Nancy,
HCP. Yeah.
HCP last night.
HCP.
And
Mhm.
and there was a good point, that Cobbs was talking and that Errol Spence and Crawford like attacked him, and they were saying
Yeah.
something, and were they lowering themselves or were they just in what they were saying? I believe that that people want to see more from them, and I thought what they did was good. I mean, I thought it was good for their brands and for who they
Right,
are, and
right.
for those of us that know Crawford outside, he's funny, and he can
Yeah,
hang with the
very.
best of them. Is he not? And like
Yeah,
he
nah, he's very funny. He's a funny
and,
dude,
and
man.
witty.
Yeah,
Errol
yeah,
is a little bit more quiet.
yeah,
But Crawford is freaking hilarious.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I liked seeing it. I don't know. What do you ladies think? Did y'all like seeing the reaction that they gave to Cobbs? Errol Spence and
That's part
Bud,
of the
or
sport. That's part of the
I actually
entertainment
didn't
of
even
the
see that
business.
yet.
Yeah.
I want to watch that. I didn't even see that.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
so part of what we talked about is that first of all, he did what you do need to do, which is sell the fight, right? And people go about it differently. It's dependent on what your brand is and what you want your brand to be. He went down this path of just being over the top and talking smack. But he sold the fight. People were watching now, right? And to think about this and to have, these two fighters, Bud and Spence, talk about you. Yes, it was like all sorts of crap, but you got them talking, right?
Exactly.
And
That's the
also
goal right there. You
on
got
top
it.
of that, exactly. And on top of that, it was like, oh, for the first time, we see publicly these two agree on something, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And so I'm just saying,
You're right.
That's so true. You gotta understand, like once he got that attention, you gotta understand the eyes that follow Errol Spence and the eyes that also follow Terrence Crawford. Those are some
Yeah.
important eyes or people that they bring a lot of attention. So yeah, like hey man, I honestly didn't even hear about this guy until like I heard I didn't even see the whole video their responses, but I just kept seeing after a while he was talking about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford or whatever. So I was like, okay, who is this cat? Who's this guy? So
he has,
yeah.
I won't ramble on it, but he has an interesting story. I know Lee's on. I think Lee, he might have joined us on a Friday chat, if I'm not mistaken. But he, I think, he lost. First of all, he moved around a lot. He's talked about, just going from city to city throughout the U.S. At a very young age. And then he lost his mother also at a very young age, goes and lives with his father. They then move to Mexico. And that is when that he walked into a gym, and kind of the story of, the challenges. And he just walked in to see what it was about and just stayed in. And that's what got him in the sport. It's his website, has kind of that biography and story. But back to, the topic is he did what we need people to do, right? So for example, Shushu, you're now, a professional, right? And there's things that are going to come with that in terms of the entertainment aspect, right? The selling the fight aspect. And he, this guy did this job.
And I have to say, like, Shushu's not a shit talker, if I could say.
Which is fine. Which is fine.
And I think Bud and Errol are the same. It's like, we're gonna get in the ring.
But
that's our
Shushu's
stage.
from New York, so I know that he has
I
right,
have my
and
own
he's
ways.
got it.
Even though I don't talk smack and stuff like that, I still do have my own ways of selling the fight.
Right.
Like, even
exactly.
even if it's not just in the ring with showing like what I can do inside the ring or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I still have my own ways, like, but in terms of like making little videos and making edits or whatever, or little skits
Funny
or TikTok videos or whatever. I have a way to sell myself and sell fights.
So you think that the intimidation factor that you use, like, as far as like, like in the corner, I saw that you had the Mike Tyson style towel
tattoo.
I felt like that was a little bit of an intimidation.
That's great. Yeah.
Like, I my whole thing is right. So my whole thing is right. Is like Christine, how I am, outside the ring. I'm more jokey, laughy. I dance all around and stuff like that. I'm more witty, whatever. You know what I'm saying, or happy-go-lucky and whatnot. But when I'm in that ring, when I'm in that ring, it's all business. I'm a gladiator. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like me adopting the Mike Tyson the Mike Tyson towel into my everyday fights. Into every fight is like, it fits me because I'm just all business. I'm all business. There's no smiles. There's no games. I don't dance when if I win or knock a guy out, nothing like that. I don't do none of that. Like running around. I don't do that. Like, what I'm saying? It's just all business. I'm just all about, I'm a gladiator in there. So, and you don't see.
You have so many dimensions and facets, which I think is amazing. It really is.
Say that again.
And be genuine. Be genuine.
Dimensions. There's more than just one Shushu. It's like there's so many ranges of you, and I think that's great. So you can appease many people, not just one certain category.
Right. That's true. And I thank you for pointing
that out. Stay genuine to you. Stay genuine to you, right? And I'm sorry, y'all, if I keep it's good. Like freezing up on my end, but so definitely staying genuine to yourself. And as we've interviewed different boxers, and you are willing to tell your story, to talk about, like you said, that journey, that moment in your life, where, you had just that battle in your head, and, all of that, we've talked about it, should boxers, disclose more of themselves in that way? Yes or no? You do have to keep some privacy, of course. But these are the things that help fans, get to know you.
Right.
And we know, like, even just, getting to meet you today, like, you're not a shit talker, and that's okay, because, like you said, you're selling the fight and yourself in your own way, the way that you're building your brand. Because we've talked about this in the past, ladies. I think we were talking about Haney. And so when, that whole situation, that face off with Teofimo, remember? And it was like, Haney's over here talking smack, and it just did not come out like genuine. It was so scripted. He was trying, and it's like, you don't need it. Yeah, you don't need it. It again, because everybody's different, and for Cobbs it just worked. That's his.
Yeah. Like,
and it doesn't mean that everybody's got to do that.
Yeah.
Rolly, exactly.
It fits for certain people, I feel like it fits for certain people, and I know for a fact it doesn't fit for me. You know what I mean? So it's like so against my personality and what I value and my my personal values.
Do it.
Nadia's trying to convince you that you should and can.
Yeah, look at her. Look, she's a culprit.
Everybody from New York to talk shit.
Nah, man. That's
I like everybody from New York to talk shit.
Yeah, nah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, listen, I have my little witty comebacks and everything like that. Look,
he does.
Definitely.
He
like,
does.
I'm not gonna,
when you meet him, you're gonna want to hug him. Like, trust me.
I have my little witty comebacks and everything. Like, I'm from New York. I have that. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of my personal values and my my identity, you know what I'm saying, my character, that's totally against it, and I can't
I
do
think,
that.
but you know what? I think if it's just shit talking shoo shoo, that's just like it's right there. Shit talking shoo shoo.
I got a nice ring
Come
to it. I
on.
might think about that. I might think about that. Got a nice little ring to it. All right.
So shoot, I have one last question. Okay, Nika trying to bring that hood out.
Right? Look, yeah,
No, but
she is.
no, but
She is.
y'all don't peep little subtle hints. When he was in his
No,
corner and I saw the
it's
Mike
there.
Tyson towel, I was like, oh,
It's there.
he's doing,
It's there.
he's
But
intimidating right there, like right there. You know, come
it
on.
is there. It is there.
Come on.
But I have I have one last question for you. So so with all the stuff that's going on, all over the world, in the Ukraine and everything. So Lomo decided to renege on the Kambosos fight to stay and fight for his country. We've got Usyk over there. We've got the Klitschko's over there. What are your thoughts about that? He's like, my country's more important than these world titles, the money, the everything. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, at the end of the day, there's life beyond boxing, and there's real life situations that's bigger than boxing. And man, it's awful what's happening out there in Ukraine. A lot of innocent people, a lot of innocent children are dying out there, and I commend them for fighting for their country, man. And they're going out there and doing what they have to do for to fight for their country. I mean, that's that pride, that Ukrainian pride that they have to defend what they have. Some of their families out there, and it's beautiful to see. Honestly, I feel like it would be very insensitive for people that just only care about boxing to want these guys to not care about what's going on out there and still fight. That's 100% insensitive. There's so many things that goes on in this world, man, that's bigger than boxing. And boxing is beautiful, it's sweet science and everything, but come on, people families are out there, man. So I commend them guys for doing that. They're the real champions. They're really fighting for something right there, and it's something beautiful to see.
Absolutely. Nika, Nancy, do y'all have a last question for Shu?
No, he's giving us over an hour, so you know what?
She want me to say some hood stuff. She want to say some hood stuff and be talking trash, that's she like controversy.
Controversy.
I do.
I do. Ass with a fucked up hand, But I'm gonna. No, but
so yes. No, first of all, yeah. So thank you, right, for joining us and giving us this opportunity to get to know you more. We know that Christine knows really, really well. I was really excited for the opportunity to talk to you and get to know you. We're definitely following you, and you can count on our support for sure. It's a lot of fun watching you, man. But
thank you.
Talk to us. What are we going to see from Shushu now? In the near future, going forward, what should we be watching for from you and your camp, your team, I should say?
Well, you guys are gonna always see a crowd pleasing performance each and every single time I fight. So you guys go ahead and tune in. Every single time I fight, you see a Bruce Carrington on the headlines or in the undercard or whatever. You guys tune in. You guys are definitely going to get your money's worth because I'm always going to bring a crowd-pleasing performance every single time. I've said that from the beginning since my first pro fight, and you guys have seen I've been keeping to my promise. You guys definitely make sure y'all tune into my next fight.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much, Shu. Thank you so much for being here and for giving us your time. So tell everybody what your social media is and where they can follow you and see you, everything that you do.
Well, my Instagram is Bruce_Carrington. You guys can follow that. My Twitter is B_Carrington1. And you guys can also tune into my documentary. I have a documentary that's out. It's Brownsville Born. Yeah, it's called Brownsville Born. You guys can tune in to watch that on brownsvilleborn.com. It's a 30-minute doc. Give you a little crash course of my life and little adversities that I've been through. Actually, I'm still fighting through this day, and how I'm just fighting through it. And hopefully it's a motivational story for everybody that tunes in to watch it.
It is. It definitely is. I vouch for that. HOD said, thanks for coming on, and please don't be a stranger. You caught my attention. I'll be looking out. Keep grinding. Good. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring people on so they can be in the radar, because everyone that we bring on is something. That's for sure. There's somebody. So thank you so much, sweetheart. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks to my ladies.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Chat.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in the chat. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We love to love you. Bye. Y'all have a good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.